Um, Thank you. I'm a little blown away by President Clinton there. I wasn't expecting that, and I had everything all planned, what to say, and now y'all just threw me off my game. I didn't know. And you know, I was fortunate enough. Ramon Bain, my longtime publicist and friend, she wrote me this wonderful speech, and you know, she always writes really great speeches. I always feel like at the end of her speeches, I should be saying, and I'll be running for president after that. So I'm gonna read part of it. But you know, it's a funny thing because I've always been nervous about speaking, you know, in these kind of things, and you know, because you know, you get to talk all serious and say big words and everything, and I usually mess big words in situations like this up, and so I usually, you know, kind of just use the voice of someone else, and it makes it easier to do it. And I used to use Sidney Poitier's voice because he was kind of like, he always sounded good when he talked. And you know, seeing that he's a past honoree, I thought, well, maybe I could do it again. So I'll just say this first part, Ramon, I'll use this first part that you used. I'll use Sidney's voice. Thank you very much. First of all, please thank you, Secretary Herman, Dr. Daly, Ms. Jones, and all of the elected officials. Ladies and gentlemen, see, the thing is you can talk really slow and get the words out, and it just sounds like he means every word. I am honored and humbled to be here tonight to receive the Uncommon Height Award. Thank you. Named after your longtime chairman and one of my heroes, Dr. Dorothy Height. I am also honored to be in the same company of awesome individuals like Oprah, Quincy Jones, Vernon Jordan, and myself, Sidney Poitier. Okay, enough of that. I sat here and I think to myself, how did I get here? How am I, Kenny Edmonds, standing here, little black kid from Indianapolis, Indiana? How do I get up on the stage? How did I get up on the stage? What drove me here? And I think back to 1917 when my father, Marvin Dallas Edmonds, was born in Providence, Kentucky. And in his younger years, at the age of 13 years old, for about 6 years, he worked. He was a coal miner and worked hard there in Providence, Kentucky, and he decided one day he wanted to move to the big city. So he decided he was going to move to Indianapolis, Indiana. That was the big city. And he made his way to Indianapolis, Indiana. It was years later when he made it there, and he was there for a few years until he found that little spring chicken he was looking for. And that was my mama, Barbara Jean O'Bannon. And she was a young, sweet thing. She was like 16 years old when she went to college. She went to IU University and was there for 2 years before my father found her and stopped her career in college a little bit. He said, "Now you go with me." And so she went with him, and then from that point on, she had babies. She had 6 boys, 6 babies. Yes, 6 of them. 6 knuckleheads. And she had to raise those boys. And my father, he was like one of those old school guys. And, you know, like he probably wouldn't have agreed with the song "As Soon As I Get Home From Work." He wouldn't have been doing no cooking, that's for sure, I can tell you. And you know, he was like I say, old school guy, and he ran the house and he called the shots. And if I'm honest, he wasn't always the greatest guy, you know. And I think, to be honest with you, I think sometimes he was kind of verbally abusive to my mom and maybe some other things. And my mom didn't really say, but she kind of was strong and she kind of made it through that. In 1972, my father passed away with lung cancer, leaving my mom there with 6 boys to raise herself. I was 12 years old and was suddenly without a father. And my mom had to take that job on. So she took the job on raising not just 6 boys, but as I said before, 6 knuckleheads, because we weren't that easy. And she took that job on in an amazing way because, see, my mom, when she had us, initially she wasn't working, and then she ended up doing a job where she was selling encyclopedias. And then when she couldn't sell the encyclopedias anymore, then she became a student teacher for a few years. And then she joined the company Eli Lilly and started working there. And actually was part of the team, one of the members of the team that actually helped create the first human insulin that was ever existed. And she was part of that team. Please. All the while she was raising 6 knuckleheads. And all of us were going in different directions. Every son had a different one and a different need. And throughout our lives, she was the one that was kind of behind us. She never missed a game that we were in. She never missed a music program that I was a part of. She was at every single thing. I don't know how she did it, but she was always there. And even as we grew older and everything that happened in our lives, she was always there for us. And you know, as every family does, you know, we had issues and had problems that went on. And being honest with you, one of my younger brothers actually became he was an addict, a drug addict, and kind of followed him all his life. And she had to deal with that and support him, and she never gave up on him. She was there for him till the day that she died. She had a rough life, but she never complained about it. And I did everything in my power to make sure that she would enjoy her life. Like every black child does that gets successful, first thing you do is buy your mom a car, you buy her a house. And that was the first thing I did, of course. And my mom, she traveled the world. She went to Egypt, she went to Thailand, she went to Europe, she went to Bora Bora, she went to, she went all throughout the world. I took her everywhere I could take her to make sure that she appreciated her life and that I appreciated her, and I wanted her to know that, you know, she was my girl, always. And so she was appreciative. And the thing that I love most about my mom, one of the things I love most about her was that she, even though I did all those things for her, it wasn't like I got special treatment for her. Hey, I just took you to Italy, what's up with that? No, it was never like that. Every child, every boy was special to her. She didn't give any special treatment to any one of us. It was like one for all for one. And I loved her for that. And she would always be there for me, no matter what. And I tried to be there for her. In my mom's later years, she got Alzheimer's. And so I started to see her spirit disappear. And then before she passed away, she actually had got a kidney disease, and that's what actually stopped her life a little bit short. And the truth is, to be honest with you, I was kind of looked at that as a blessing because it stopped her from having to go through all the things that Alzheimer's can bring. And I can only tell you that on the day a couple days before she was passing away, she was in her home, and then she said that she didn't want to die there, she wanted to go home. She wanted to be in her house. And so I came up to her and I said, are you ready to go to the house? And at this point she hadn't talked, she hadn't said anything in a minute. And I said, do you want to go back home? She raised up, she said, take me home. She said, take me home. So we took her to her home, and that's where my mom passed away. And the thing that I got from my mom is that she fought to the end. And she had a good life, and she is the reason why I'm a successful, black, respectful man to this day. This award, it doesn't go to Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. It goes to Barbara Jean O'Bannon Edmonds, because she is the reason why I'm here. Thank you very much.